Today I announce a new approach, which we're calling the Key to NYC Pass. The key to New York City. When you hear those words, I want you to imagine the notion that because someone's vaccinated, they can do all the amazing things that are available in this city. This is a miraculous place, literally full of wonders. And if you're vaccinated, all that's going to open up to you. You'll have the key, you can open the door. But if you're unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things. That's the point we're trying to get across. It's time for people to see vaccination as literally necessary to living a good and full and healthy life. The Key to NYC Pass will be a first-in-the-nation approach. It will require vaccination for workers and customers in indoor dining, in indoor fitness facilities, indoor entertainment facilities. This is going to be a requirement. The only way to patronize these establishments indoors will be if you're vaccinated, at least one dose. The same for folks in terms of work. They'll need at least one dose. This is crucial because we know that this will encourage a lot more vaccination. We've seen it already. We've seen the impact of the mandate we've put in place for city workers already starting to move people to vaccination. We've obviously seen the positive impact of incentive as well. The goal here is to convince everyone that this is the time. If we're going to stop the Delta variant, the time is now. And that means getting vaccinated right now.
Hey, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. This is your brother Elder Ayathun back at you with another video. This is going to be a quick one, man. I'm on my so-called lunch break, so I'm going to have to do a quick hit on this. But, hey, this is breaking news, man, so I had to do a video on it. This came out a couple hours ago. Today's August 3rd, the year 2021. The hastening and the coming of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And it says right here, NYC to require the DART at indoor restaurants, gyms, and theaters. Mayor de Blasio will announce the mandate for all his Tuesday virus briefing. Neidhart said. So I'm gonna have to use buzzwords. I'm gonna have to use words to fly under the radar so this video doesn't get flagged. But hey, I just want to do this. Might be a reaction video too, because this is the first thing I thought of when I got this news. This was sent to me. Slacking for all the noise in the back, noise pollution. One of the bishops sent this to me. I said, "Who gives a meld?" That's the French word for S-H-I-T. Who gives a meld? And this is a scripture that popped in my head. 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So when this news hits your ears, if you get heartbroken, you start catching feelings, you're sad, it ruins your day, then you're not in the right spirit, because you should not even care. You can't go to the indoor restaurants. Who cares? You can't go to the gyms. You can't go to the theaters. Who the hell cares? You should be at the point right now where you're separated and you're just watching for the prophecies that come to pass. But you're separated from all this bread and circus stuff. You heard what he said. It's the keys to the city. Enjoy all of what New York has to offer. The magic of New York. The magic of New York is gone. The magic of New York left last year when everybody moved out of New York. A place is a people before it's a place. So when the spirit of a place leaves, that means the people left. So after the first wave of the Windows 19 hit and everybody moved out, the spirit of New York has been gone. The magic left. New York is not the same anymore. Even if you do go out, it's dead. It's not the same. And furthermore, who cares? Who cares? I'm waiting to eat. I'm waiting to eat in the kingdom, man. I want to eat in the kingdom. I want to drink that wine that Yahushua said that he's saving. That's what I want to do. The theater I want to watch is watching Esau in slavery. This right here, I was just like, who cares? But check this out, man. the scripture say through his policy. Let me bring out another scripture. See if I can find this quick fast. Right. I believe that's how it goes. Here we go. Now let's look up the word policy, right? Policy meaning or definition. Okay, policy. So let's read the scripture here, right? Let's read the scripture. It says, Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. So policy means what? Policy, a course of or principle of action adopted or proposed by a government, party, business, or individual. So this is, whoops, we'll get to that next. Lord's will. This was being proposed. This mandatory dart, right, by the government. So it says shall cause craft to prosper. So let's look up craft. What is a craft? An activity involving skill in making things by hand, skill used in deceiving others. Skill used in deceiving others. So, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. Let's look up magnify. He shall magnify himself in his heart. Make something appear larger than what it is. Increase or exaggerate the importance or effect of. Increase or exaggerate the important or effect of. You need to get it. You have to get it. So we can, they exaggerate it. You heard what this devil said. You have to get it to stop the variant. You have to get it to protect others. You have to. It's a must. We're doing everything we can to get you to get it. You must get it. Right? And he shall magnify himself in his heart, meaning his mind, and by peace shall destroy many. All right? He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So by peace shall destroy many. So he's speaking these peaceful words, talking like he really cares about the American people and the citizens of NYC, and he's just there to protect you. But check out the craft. Check out the craft. So you all know there's the eviction moratorium ended this week, meaning this month, the middle of this month, or maybe early September, there's going to be mass evictions. There's going to be, and the mass evictions affect mostly Jake. If you don't believe me, look it up. I mean, it's all over the internet, the statistics. Here's a couple here. And in particular, black women is going to be affected the most. They're at most risk. But if you look here, thousands of blacks had to be evicted as moratorium ends. There's many articles talking about how Jake is going to be affected the most by these the moratorium. But check this out though. So these Jakes are going to be evicted. They're going to be on the streets. There's going to be some type of purge thing going on because Jakes going to be fighting each other and fighting for a little bit of resources. Remember, where Jakes live, it's going to be a whole project building with a bunch of Jakes out homeless. Jake live in close proximity to each other. They're going to be effing each other up. You see? They're going to be messing each other up. There's going to be a lot of deaths, this and that. And what Jake has been doing because of these stimulus checks, a lot of these Jakes, because they don't think with their brains, and they don't think forward. They're not forward thinking. They don't think ahead. They live in the moment. They just think for the current moment. Like animals. That's what animals do. They think for the current moment. They don't think ahead. They quit their jobs because of the stimulus checks. And because of what were they doing with the stimulus checks? I mean, you see it all over the internet. They bought chains. A lot of niggas got robbed for their chains that they bought the stimulus check. They bought sneakers. They didn't stack it. They didn't increase it. They didn't flip it. They might have bought some drugs and flipped it, but then got shot or something like that. So a lot of Jakes are going to be assed out. So there's going to be a lot of people out there looking for jobs. So now that he passed this mandatory DART, guess what? These people that are losing their homes, have lost their homes, now trying to get back in the workforce, they're going to have to take the jab. They're going to be forced to take this DART to get back in the workforce, to start making money again, to pay the rent back if they're able to make some sort of deal. Another thing that's going on is that because of this, a lot of tenants or landlords, Jake landlords, are also among the highest that's going to be affected by this, because a lot of Jakes, they rely on the renters turning in their rent in order for them to pay the mortgage. So a lot of landlords are going to lose their homes, and guess what? You're going to have them Amalekites. They're going to swoop in and buy them homes dirt cheap. This is how they do gentrification. Jersey City, you remember what happened in Jersey City? They try to blame it on, the Hebrew Israelites. But if you read into what was going on there, Jake was basically, they were at edge with the Amalekites because that's what the Amalekites were doing. They were increasing crime and doing different things in Jake's neighborhood to get them to leave or to lower the property value so they could swoop in there and buy it really cheap. And then what they would do is they would raise up the rent. Once they had the property, they would raise up the rent, raise the property value, build stores and stuff around it to get the property value really high so that Jake could not afford to go back into their own neighborhoods anymore. And they were gentrified. So that's the situation this is going to create right here. On top of all of that, this is a huge distraction for what's really going on, and that's World War III. See this? Breaking. This is also published today, August 3rd, 2021. Breaking. Israel's attack on Iran begins. All right? Now, this is a scripture we haven't brought out in a minute. So what this is going to do here, Jeremiah 49:20, it says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord." Slocky, give me a moment, man. Give me 1 second. Make sure. Okay. "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out." The least of the flock represents the Amalekites over there in the land of Israel. Is going to draw them out, and meaning what? They're going to force America's hand into a World War III. And that is exactly what's going on here right now. The prophecy. We're living in a time of prophecy. All these Israelite camps, this is exactly what they should be talking about right now. Prophecy. They should be dwelling on prophecy. And his purpose is that he has purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Exactly. According to the scriptures, Israel's going to become desolate, the land of Israel. The scriptures refer to the land of Israel as the land that is brought back from the sword. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Ezekiel 38:8. Ezekiel 38 goes all into WW3. "And after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them." So the land of Israel is a land that is brought back from the sword, meaning what? They're going to get caught in that nuclear destruction. We just read it, right? That he shall make their habitations desolate with them. In other words, Israel's going to get hit up, and Babylon's going to get hit up to the point to where it can never be rebuilt again. But the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt. The purpose of it getting hit up is for us to be cleansed, purified with that fire. But if you go back to the book of Isaiah 60, it shows you, the Lord speaks about how he's going to rebuild the land of Israel back up. And also, if you go to the book of Amos, I think it's 9, real quick, and then I may end it on this right quick. Amos 9, I think, is 10, no, verse 11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof." So the Most High right now, the elect, that's the tabernacle of David, the mighty men, right? And that means also what? That's showing you reincarnation. King David is coming back. King David is going to be raised up in the chariots too, all right? Because the scriptures tell you that those who are asleep, that fell asleep in the work while doing the work, they're going to be the first to rise up. You see? It says, "In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." So the ruins, where were the ruins located? They're in the land of Israel. So the Most High says he's going to build it as in the days of old. So anyway, with that, brothers, sisters, I'm going to say shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.